you who haven't been here before, my name's Odessa. I'm the Mystic Intuitive Healer. I'm a psychic medium, Reiki master, spiritual coach, and an intuitive tarot card reader. And through the work I'm doing here on YouTube, as well as my website, odessamall.com, I hope to deliver messages to you that will help you to awaken, heal, align, and grow. I am so excited about today's topic. I'm going to be looking into who your inner magical witch is. I've been wanting to get back to some of the more mystical topics covering psychic abilities and witchcraft and all kinds of different spiritual subjects. So many of my clients have an aptitude in these areas and they're developing their skills. And so many of you, my subscribers, have talked to me about your own spiritual journey, your own mystical experiences. So I'm going to be starting off diving in today. And I've got 3 piles for you guys to choose from. Pile number 1 is partnered with clear quartz. Clear quartz is known as the master healer. It harmonizes with any of your chakras, helping to balance and clear them. When you're working with a clear quartz point, you can actually focus energy using it. If you center the point on one of your chakras, depending on the position of the motion, you can either add energy or take it away. Going counterclockwise is going to remove energy, and going clockwise is going to add energy. Pile number 2 is partnered with black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is an amazing protective crystal. It can absorb low vibrational energy. It can also create a protective barrier around your aura that will deflect the evil eye. Pile number 3 is partnered with yellow jasper, a fabulous crystal for protection during spiritual work, divination. It's also a fabulous crystal for connecting you with your solar plexus, which is your center for personal empowerment. So when you're doing divination work and you are receiving that information, you can apply it to your own goals and make sure that it's in alignment with your true calling, your life purpose, what your heart is telling you to do. All right. So I don't know exactly where we're going to be going with this reading, but we are definitely going to be covering psychic abilities, your magical aptitudes, and all kinds of other things might come up. I'm just going to let my spirit guides just sort of guide me, and I will give you guys a minute to select your pile, and I'll see you in a moment. Welcome back, pile number 1. So I've got your cards here and your clear quartz point. These cards are going to give me an idea of where your natural aptitudes lie as far as magic goes, psychic abilities. There could be any number of things that come up. So let's see what you've got. You have the Fool, you've got Air, and you've got Dragonfly. You bring light to the world. All right. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is, first of all, you are a very experimental person. You have a very youthful energy. You're excited about trying new things. You know, you're open. You let your intuition guide you. You, I think, are exploring a lot of different areas of spirituality and magic. I think you might be a solo practitioner. You might identify as being a hedge witch. That is coming forward. I think that you have a natural aptitude when it comes to connecting psychically with the other side. You might have been able to connect with deities. You might have been able to connect with past loved ones. You might even have mediumship tendencies, because the Air card is definitely talking to me about being able to communicate with the other side. Air would connect with the traditional suit of swords in tarot, which is all about communication, but there's all these symbols here. Feathers are a symbol of connecting with the angelic realm, with our spirit guides. The butterflies are talking about also being able to get spirit communication. Specifically, normally butterflies are connected to past loved ones, but it's also could be talking about you being able to access the Akashic records, because butterflies can also be a symbol of reincarnation, because they go through the metamorphosis stage of becoming a butterfly after being a caterpillar. Now, dragonfly also is talking to me about being able to channel messages from your higher self, from source. And I'm getting goosebumps like crazy. So you're definitely psychic. Absolutely. This might be something that you are just starting to really dive into. You know, you might be at an earlier stage of your journey. But the Fool is the first card in the major arcana. It is not even considered number one. It's 0. And the number 0, the circle is talking about those never-ending cycles. So you might be a novice in this life, but you are a master in past lives. There is going to be information that comes forward as you continue to develop your skills that will feel like second nature to you. And it's because you've mastered I'm getting certain forms of divination in past lives. There's something coming forward about reading bones or reading sticks. Now that is a traditional way of doing divination, very similar to runes, where you would have either very small pieces of wood, or it could be some sort of animal bone, and they would be thrown on the ground, and they would make specific shapes. And like runes, there was a language there. So you might actually have an aptitude for runes or be interested in that. It's something that you'll pick up really, really quickly. And you just need to know that it's because you're already a master of that particular skill and you're just reconnecting with that. Now, you probably also have an ability to read synchronicities. So these are messages that are coming from the other side through nature, because you've got insects here. There's 2 different representations of birds coming forward here with the duckling, right? And then also with the feathers on the air card. And birds are a symbol of being able to see things from a higher perspective. They are talking about being able to basically see things from the perspective of our higher self, the version of us that's on the other side that remembers all of our past lives, as well as our spirit guides, and then insects as well. These are all symbols of flight. So you might actually also be able to lucid dream. You might have been able to astral travel, because there's an energy here of flying, of going beyond yourself, across the veil, which again makes me think of head witches. So that might make sense to you. If it doesn't, look into it. You know, like I said, you're at this sort of earlier stage of your development. I think some of you might even refer to yourself or consider yourself baby witches, which is a very controversial subject in magical circles. But whatever you decide, I want you to know, from my perspective, if you want to call yourself a baby witch, if you want to call yourself a full-fledged witch, no matter what stage you are in your development, it is your own personal practice. You have the right to be able to define who you are. You don't have to ask somebody else for their permission, right? Because honestly, we are all infinite beings. We have all lived many, many past lives, and we've had different experiences, and we identify with different things. So whatever works for you, works. All right, this is a really exciting start. So let's get some more cards. I'm being called to this deck. Okay, so what else can my guides tell me about the inner witch of pile number 1? What kind of abilities does pile number 1 have? What kind of aptitudes or connections does pile number 1 have? Can you tell me about pile number 1? For some reason, this deck, I keep getting called to it, but then when I shuffle, nothing comes out. So I'm going to try it one more time. Is there anything you would like to add from this deck for pile number 1? All right, I'm going to set it aside for now and try this one. I'm not going to force it. Okay, so what would you like to add about the inner witch and magical abilities? Yes. Woo! Whoa! Okay. Got some cards here that fell on the floor. All right. Yes, you got so many amazing cards here. All right. So, okay, so you definitely have psychic abilities. You've got the clairsentience card. Now, this is a psychic gift that is connected to you feeling psychic information. You are possibly able to read the energy of a room. You might walk into a particular place and you can just sense whether the energy is positive or negative. You might be able to sense the events that have taken place in a particular place prior to it being used for the purpose it is when you arrive there. So like historical places, being able to like sense what took place there before. Sometimes people can pick up with this particular gift if there's been any kind of crimes in a particular place or any kind of sorrow, trauma, that kind of thing. You might just also just get a sixth sense about people, like you meet someone and instantly you're like, this doesn't feel right. You are most likely also connected to empathic skills. So you might sense people that are in their shadow. Like you might really strongly pick up on narcissistic energy from people. Now, because you're at an earlier stage of your development, as far as your skills go, you might be second guessing yourself, but this reading, I hope, really will clarify to you and confirm that you really are on the money with that. You're picking up things very powerfully. You can actually read people's thoughts. You've got thought power. And this is talking about you are not only just picking up on somebody's energy, the energy that's around them, they're like, that's reverberating within their auric field, but you are actually able to pick up on what they're thinking. Because the thing about people that are deep in their shadow, and anyone who's on the narcissistic spectrum, they're wearing a mask. They're not being honest for various reasons. They're not being honest about who they are. So they might be projecting one energy at face value. You look at their face, they're smiling, they're laughing, they're engaging with people, but inside they're like, I hate everyone here, and you can feel that energy. Now, you might have had issues with that in the past where people are like, why are you being critical of that person? Why are you judging them? And like, they're not, receptive to the information you're picking up on. But honestly, the more you step into your power, the more you're going to start realizing like that your gifts are within you to help you be of service in this life, right? Like you bring light to the world. And you will naturally start magnetizing to situations where you are taken seriously with people that are open to this, and it will just shift everything for you. You got the divine source. So the more you get into your own alignment, the more you're going to really get strong downloads, and you have to just focus your mind and find stillness. So if you are not already in the practice of meditation, I highly recommend that you start practicing. You got practicing patience. I think that many of you might have trouble with meditation. You might be finding it difficult to still your mind. I am getting the energy of like sort of anxious thoughts or intrusive thoughts, where it's like you can't slow it down. It's just everything is going a mile a minute. And partially it's because of this thought power. You're picking up on other people's energy. So the primary thing I need you to do is I need you to practice grounding your energy. And what you're going to do is you're going to sit in a quiet place. I suggest starting off sitting versus lying down, because people that are just starting to get a grasp of meditation, when they lie down, they do have a tendency to fall asleep. So I would practice sitting in a comfortable position. Try and find a place where you're not going to be disturbed or there isn't noise. You know, there's plenty of noise around me, and what I do is I just wear noise canceling headphones when I'm meditating. And I meditate every single day. I have to, and I ground my energy and I put protective shields around myself every single day. When I don't, I start absorbing other people's energy and I get anxious, I feel disconnected from my gifts, and then I can't actually do the work that I'm meant to do. So sit in meditation, imagine that there are roots growing out of the root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, into the earth, and every feeling that you have that feels uncomfortable, it's like it's flowing out of you like water into the earth. There's other ways you can meditate too. You can go on long walks by yourself and you can just tune into the energy of the earth, Gaia, the plants around you. You can actually work with plants. Right now, I'm in Canada. We're in the middle of winter. It's totally snowy outside. I wasn't exactly designed for the winter, even though this is where I was born, which is probably part of my own journey. So what I do is I will repot my plants. I get my hands into the earth, and it really helps me to ground. You can listen to meditation music. You can have a soothing bath. Put some salt in the bath water. That can help you to ground out that energy. In those moments, if you can just try and focus on the feeling of your own body. What I'm trying to teach you is to get in tune with what your body naturally feels like versus what it feels like when you've absorbed other people's energy. Because when you can feel the difference, it's easier for you to reject those foreign feelings. You're not going to take it on and assume that all this anxiety is actually your own, when really you're picking it up from other people. Doing that is then going to help you to elevate your skills to a point where finally you're going to end up being able to actually help other people, because you are a natural psychic. I do think that you are here to reach out to spirit. You got the reach out to spirit. You can also, I'm being encouraged to remind you that you have free will. So if you want assistance from your guides, your ancestors, other energies like goddess energies, deity energies, all you have to do is ask, because if you don't ask, they can't help you, because like I said, you have free will. It's up to you if you want the help. You can go it alone entirely. But I don't get the feeling that you want to do that, because you have so much experience in these areas from past lives. Okay, so once you have connected with your own intuition, which is connecting you with, all of these spirit energies that I've been talking about through meditation, you're going to be able to channel messages from spirit, and you've got psychic journaling. So you have a gift when it comes to automatic writing. Now, that is another really, really great way to start opening yourself up to messages from spirit without sort of second guessing yourself or having your own worrying thoughts sort of override things. Because when we get messages from spirit, oftentimes it's very subtle, and it will feel like it's your own thoughts. The more you practice, the more you can tell the difference between what you're thinking and what's an actual message from spirit, because it will come in like an intrusive thought. Oftentimes it's like an epiphany. I'll be standing in my kitchen, putting dishes away, thinking about something, and all of a sudden I'll have this epiphany, and it will have not only solve a problem for me, or it will have me thinking about something in an entirely new way. It was literally like someone was standing there next to me telling me something from a much higher perspective, and it'll just blow my mind. The more you do this, the more you will experience that as well. And psychic journaling, it's just grab a book, blank page, anything that you can write in, and ask yourself an internal question, and then start writing. Don't second guess what you're writing. Just whatever comes into your mind, write it down. And then once you feel like you've got all of it out, you'll feel it energetically. You'll know when you're done. Read it, and you will be amazed at how insightful the response is. You will feel like you just had a conversation with another person, and you did. You were getting divine nudges. I think you already know. I feel like you're strongly connected again to the angelic realm with this beautiful bird wing. Obviously, there's a connection there, and then this the feather and the other bird imagery here. You can help others once you figured out how you get messages for yourself. That's when you can start to help other people and pass on messages for them, because not everyone has the same spiritual gifts. Different people have different aptitudes based on their past life energy, based on what they're here to do right now. Sometimes we're actually blocked from some of our spiritual gifts on purpose for a long period of time in our life, because we decided that we kind of wanted to learn a tougher lesson. And the more spiritual access you have to your gifts, the easier it is. So sometimes you're blocked off for long periods of time. So don't assume that because you're having trouble sort of tapping into this stuff now, right, with this novice energy, that you don't have powerful abilities. There's a good chance that you've just been blocked from things, and you're going to have to sort of wait until you've sort of released some blockages, you've kind of laid the groundwork, and then new doorways are going to open up to you. All right, so let me see. I'm going to give this a try one more time. Okay, what does pile number 1 need to know? Yeah. Now I know why they wanted me to wait. Okay, now it all makes sense. So you just got the card Trust with basil. Now, basil is a highly protective plant. And there's also the horoscope sign for Scorpio, the astrological sign for Scorpio, and the alchemical symbol for fire, and the evil eye here. So, and it's number 21. In numerology, this would reduce down to the number 3, which is all about partnership. All right, so you are having trouble trusting that the messages that are coming through from your guides are actually coming from spirit. You might actually be afraid that you're tapping into energy that is malevolent or like dangerous, evil, that kind of thing. You might have grown up in a family where it was like they were spiritual or religious, but they didn't trust anything that would be classified as like pagan, or even they might have described it as occult. And you have this natural aptitude and you are being drawn to these topics, but you're equally afraid because of the, things that you've been told growing up. You don't have to be afraid. You are totally protected. You can burn off. The alchemical symbol for fire is really guiding me to say that you can burn off all of those insecurities. You can rise from those ashes like the phoenix. And fire is a very powerful energy when it comes to magic. It is an energy of renewal. And this, burning off of the old can even amplify your energy of rebirth from the Fool card. But with Scorpio, highly psychic, and you really do not need to worry about you being a target, is what I'm getting, because you're being divinely guided. You are protected. Your guides are around you at all times, and you can do particular things to help yourself. Like, imagine that you are always inside a protective bubble of light. Clear your energetic field by working with crystals. You can cleanse your chakras by using clear quartz, like I was explaining in the intro. You can meditate with clear quartz also. You can do the grounding exercise I told you about. You can also use a protective crystal. I'm just looking for the black tourmaline that I also mentioned in the intro. You can carry this around with you that will also deflect evil eye. Any kind of black crystal will work for that purpose. So don't be afraid to explore, to experiment. That's part of your natural energy. I can feel that you want to try new things, but you are afraid to listen to your intuition. You might have a tendency to go on Facebook, into Facebook groups, and ask a lot of questions. And if you get any pushback, you stop right there. Well, there's lots and lots and lots of people out there that will tell you to stop. But you have to listen to your own heart. If you're gonna progress and grow and become the high priestess, because that's where this is going. You are heading in that direction. So I'm gonna get a couple final cards. I'm being guided to get one card from here, and then I'm gonna close it off with a deity connection. Okay, so what does pile number, all right. Yes! Oh my God. You got Lord, take charge with authority. Oh my God. You got Guardian Angel. You are not alone. This is exactly what I've been talking about. So you are definitely connected to the angelic realm. Your guides are with you at all times. And then there is the sacred geometry here with the triangle, the evil eye, the moon symbol, the sun symbol. You are protected. The dark energies and the light energies are balanced. Your guides are surrounding you with love. None of this dark energy can get through because you have a divine purpose. You have to continue. Now, I'm not going to say that scary things might not happen, because I'll be honest, weird stuff did happen when I was at this stage of my journey, like really weird stuff, like paranormal, like poltergeist, activity in this room, actually. But it went away because I took control, I took charge, and I learned protective measures, and I also took authority, like the Lord card is encouraging you, and I banished all that energy. It was just like, no, hell no, no more of this, you have to go. And there's plenty of things you can do to put protections around your home to clear out that energy as well. So don't worry, your guides will also guide you to the resources that you need to help you to make sure that you are always protected. But remember, you are the authority in your own journey. Don't assume that just because in this life you're a novice or you're young and you're just starting out, that you don't have the answers within you, because you do. I believe that you probably have a strong connection with Celtic druid magic is what I'm getting from this. And you might be leaning more into your divine masculine. That might be energy that's really, really draws your attention. You might be really interested in connecting with male deities. I'm also getting an energy of Egypt here because he's holding the Ankh. So that might resonate with you. And then to close off the reading, I would like to know what primary deity is reaching out to you that would like to give you guidance, would like to work with you. So let's see. What primary deity, what one deity would like to work with group number one? Oh, you got two. Okay, amazing. I love this. I love this. You got Kuan Yin, compassion. Kuan Yin is such a compassionate and loving, nurturing energy, very mothering, similar to Mother Mary, one of the first goddesses that I worked with, especially when I was learning the healing arts, when I was going through my training for Reiki. She is a wonderful guide, highly protective, very powerful, but in a non-intimidating way. Beautiful. Reach out to Kuan Yin. She would love to work with you. And you also got the goddess Métis, and she is the goddess of wisdom. And you're seeking knowledge. Meditate on her. Meditate on Kuan Yin. Ask them for guidance about what steps you can take to expand on your gifts or open up doorways so you can get access to the experience you already have. And you are very, very, very close to transcending and moving into a new phase, because this is the number 27. This card is the number 27, which reduces down to the number 9. This card is the number 36, which also reduces down to the number 9. 9 is only one step away from the final leg of the journey. So keep working at it. Don't be afraid. Ask for help from these beautiful, very benevolent goddesses. Connect on a deeper level with your guides. Practice your meditations, grounding, separating your energy from that energy of others. If you are interested in exploring magic and mysticism that is connected to the divine masculine, I would encourage you to do that. If you're interested in Egypt, or you're interested in the Celtic paganism or druidry, then I would encourage you to do that. You definitely have amazing skills here that are just waiting to be explored on a deeper level. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. This was really, really, really fun. And if anyone is interested in having a one-on-one reading with me, or even spiritual coaching, I do this kind of guidance on a daily basis. You can get in touch with me by going to my website, odessamall.com. And if you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel, please come and join the family. We're growing so quickly. It's like kind of blowing my mind. And if you liked this video, you can like could share with someone who might be interested in the video, that would be amazing. Send me a comment. Let me know how you guys felt about this, what your experience has been. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next reading. Take care. Hi, pile number 2. So I've got your pile here, your black tourmaline. These cards are going to give me an idea of who your inner witch is. You know, what your magical aptitudes, psychic abilities are. You know, let's see what you've got. So you have the 3 of Cups, Hope, and Felix Felicitas, power symbol to create lucky, serendipitous events. Very cool. So I would say based on this that you guys are probably active practicing witches. You are interested in the metaphysical. You have your own daily practice is the energy I'm getting. You might actually do similar work to what I do, because what I'm getting here is that not only are you part of magical circles, but you might even actually be part of a group of witches. Now, that could be that you're actually part of a coven. You are participating in a group with other people that have similar magical aptitudes, or this could be you part of a group online too. You know, you might be connecting with other people that are interested. Even this, actually, you might be following other readers, or you might have other friends that are interested in the same kinds of topics as you, and you are gaining knowledge and you're sharing that with each other. I believe that you probably have a number of different divination practices that you do on a daily basis. Some of you might be really skilled at palmistry. Others of you might be really skilled at reading synchronicities, seeing patterns in nature. Oftentimes, spirit comes through to us through synchronicities, like you are seeing the same bird over and over and over again, and it's something out of the usual, out of the ordinary, or unusual. An example of my own life is, for a period of time, I was seeing a hawk regularly. I have lived in this place for 15 years, never ever ever saw a hawk before, ever. And then all of a sudden it was like on a daily basis I was seeing a hawk. And I don't mean just flying over, I mean like it's sitting outside the window. Really, really unusual behavior. You pick up on that and you don't just dismiss it as, oh, that's just random. Nothing is random to you. Nothing is random. I'm just hearing that you even like listen to like nature. You listen to the ancient energies that are around us, the primordial energies, like listening to the wind, which is a very, very shamanic type of practice. It's a very ancient tradition to listen to the energy of water, which means that you might actually be practicing like scrying with water, or pyromancy. You're staring into a candle flame or into an actual fire. I think that you actually do spellcraft. I'm getting the energy, I'm seeing somebody craft a spell. They're putting something in, I'm assuming it's like a cardboard tube because they're throwing it into a bonfire. Definitely spellcraft. And you might work a lot with sigils, power symbols, because I mean that's literally what this card is talking about. Power symbols to create lucky, serendipitous events. You are manifesting by using magic. Some of you might be doing candle magic, because my guides just said to me candles. And yeah, I'm definitely getting the feeling like you're casting circles together. Some of you actually might have done group banishing spells. I just thought freezer spell, but like I'm getting like literally casting circles with a group of it feels like feminine energy, but that does not mean that you identify as a woman. It's just because it feels to me like it's connecting to the energy of the moon and the energy of water, which is connected with the divine feminine. So regardless of how you personally identify, I definitely feel like you're connecting with that divine feminine energy. You understand how energies are balanced, because at the center of this sigil is the Star of David, which is the two alchemical symbols for fire and water superimposed on top of each other, two opposing forces. You understand that tension and how to harness that to create events, miracles, manifestations in your own life. That symbol is talking about complete balance. You might have an altar in your home. You might have a daily practice where you really, because I'm really feeling like you're connecting with the energies of the earth. You probably do honor the seasons. You probably do honor and acknowledge pagan holidays. We just went through Yule, for example. Samhain, Halloween, I get strongly that that's probably one of your favorite holidays, which is awesome. I love that. All right, so let's get some more cards. I want to know a bit more about what your natural aptitudes are and, you know, who your inner witch is. What can you tell me about pile number 2's inner witch? Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. Everything I channeled is coming out now. Amazing. I love this. Okay, so first off, yes, you're definitely witches. You got nature's healing power. I was talking about how you're so connected to nature, and you got creating sacred spaces. Absolutely. Now, if you don't connect with the idea of witchcraft, you might connect with the idea of shamanism or healing, being a healer, being a natural healer. You might actually be naturopaths or aromatherapists, or practice Ayurvedic medicine, or you are holistic nutritionists. Those crafts, those skills, those arts are all forms of witchcraft. You absolutely connect with the energies around you, though. That is 100% clear here. So let's get some more cards. This is exciting. Okay, so what else can you tell me about the inner witch of pile number 2? Who is the inner witch of pile number 2? Can you please get some cards telling me more about the inner witch of pile number 2? Herbology, definitely coming forward. Yeah, you work with plants a lot. I think that I just got chaos magic. Yeah, and that definitely makes sense. With the, there's a tension here. Now, this might not resonate with all of you, but I do really feel that many of you understand that there are times when you need to harness the energy of the light and, the sun. And then there is times when you need to harness the energy of the night, darkness, the moon. The masculine and the feminine, the positive and the negative is at play at all times. It's unavoidable. And you have, whoa. Wild. I love this. Okay, so you definitely are connected to, the never-ending cycles of life. And I think that you are connected to sensual energies. I think that you lean into your divine feminine. Some of you might really be interested in sex magic, actually, because I'm getting that energy from this fig and the snake. You know, like there's no way around it. Like there's definitely that energy. The energy of union, two souls coming together. Whether that is, you know, a man and a woman, whether it's a woman and a woman, a man and a man, because we all have male and feminine energy within us. So it doesn't really matter what your anatomy is or how you identify to the world. When two people come together, it creates this energetic vibration that can manifest things. You know, it's the power of creation that comes through, and you understand that. I think that you might even use those times to channel messages, or it's almost like you might be more in tune. So this might be you using Tantra to connect with your higher self. The reason I'm saying that is because there's the alchemical symbol for water, which is connected to the psychic realm, the emotional body. So that's really interesting. And then the other 3 cards here are all air signs. You got hope with the daffodil, and then you got victory here with nasturtium. I am not familiar with how to pronounce that name. I really apologize. Then you got positivity with the marigolds. Now the symbols on here are really, really interesting because you got the dream catcher. So there is that connection back to shamanism, indigenous communities. Then you got the crown, so air connected to the crown chakra, psychic abilities, channeling information. And then there is this divining rod here, which would be another form of holistic, how do I want to put this? It is an act of finding water traditionally that might be performed by a community healer, but it can also be used as a divination practice to get answers to questions, typically yes or no questions. So that's really interesting. And then there is the energy here of the sun as well, where I was connecting with that energy of the divine masculine, and then you've got the energy of the divine feminine with this water energy. So you've got psychic abilities. I think you use your intuition to guide you. I think that that's a big element with this chaos magic too, where you are kind of experimental and just sort of seeing what happens, right? Because you're not afraid of the darker energies that are out there. You're practice witches. You know what you're doing. You're at a stage now where you have developed relationships with deities, with energies, primordial energies, you know, like the basic energies of creation. And now you can get creative. And really, you do sort of create new forms of magic within your own life. Some of you might actually want to write books or write a blog or have a podcast specifically about magic. Get yourself out there, maybe a YouTube channel, because I'm getting the feeling strongly that you guys are developing things that hasn't really existed or hasn't existed in like hundreds and hundreds of years. Stuff you might be bringing forward from past lives, because my guides just keep saying to me, book of shadows, book of shadows, book of shadows. So you've written down your practices. And now partially, some of you, I'm getting. All right. So my guides just said to me, they're annoyed Okay, you practice witches, you know what you're doing. You're a little bit annoyed by the lack of attention to detail and willingness to dive in deep of some of the younger witches that are coming up. You have really dived in deep. You've done a lot of work, and you know that it takes work. It's like building a friendship with anyone. If you are building a practice, whether that has to do with connecting with the deity or connecting with the earth's energies, every single thing around us has spirit, has soul, has energy within it. And if you are looking at things through a shamanic lens, it is sentient. All things can deliver information and they all have a perspective. You get that. You know that just like cultivating a friendship with an actual person, you need to invest time and energy. You have done that with your own practice, and it's like when you go online with like Facebook and stuff, you get annoyed that there's, up and coming witches that are like, give me a spell for this, and they don't want to necessarily put in the same work, at least from your perspective. They don't want to put in the work. But the thing is that they don't have anyone guiding them. They have no idea that that's not the way it's done, right? And I know that, many of you are going to say, well, I didn't know, but it was a different world then, when I was coming up too, it was a different thing where it's like you had to sort of seek out knowledge, and it was very it wasn't as easily accessible. Therefore, every little piece of knowledge you got, you just cherished it and you just hung on to it because it was primarily books. When I was first coming up, I was going into occult bookstores eventually, but before that I was just going into the regular library, scouring the bookshelves for anything that had anything to do with magic or healing. A lot of the stuff that I started with was traditional healing techniques, and they just don't have that same experience because that's not the way the world is now. And you can really, really help change the attitude by sharing your experience, but do it in a way that you have boundaries about it. I just keep getting podcasts. If you were on a platform like what I'm doing, you get to control the narrative. You don't have to be at the mercy of what somebody is asking you. Obviously, you want to reach your audience, but you get to decide how accessible you want to be. That's up to you. But there is definitely really valuable, and I'm getting goosebumps because of that. There's valuable information that you could be sharing with the up and coming generation that I think would go a long way. You're the elders. Even if you're in your 20s, the energy I'm getting here is you are an elder. You are crone. That's what I'm getting. So let's see what else you guys have to share. This is super exciting. All right, what else can you tell me about pile number 2's inner witch? Oh my God. I just love how the messages always click together. Okay, yes. Oh my God, this is crazy. Oh my God, okay. First off, you're definitely the elders. You just got the druid. Hold the space. This particular card always gives me the energy of a practiced witch, druid, the druid craft, the sort of origins, the backbone of Wicca, which for many of you, is probably where you started, with Cunningham and building on the tradition of Wicca. But you need to hold space for some of the younger people, because we forget that we were annoying to someone at some point too. You know? And you are definitely connected with the moon and getting those messages from spirit. Like I was saying, you got the moon. Take note of intuitive messages, so you get those psychic downloads. Obviously, being interested in witchcraft and being a practice witch, you are working with the cycles of the moon. You're using it for rituals. You're using it for manifestation. You understand the power of the circle. You get all of that. And you got the arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. Maybe because you did pick the black tourmaline, maybe that is something that you could really start helping out with by sharing some of the skills and the techniques that you use to protect yourself during exploration, right? Because you're so practiced. Like pile number 1 were the baby witches. I know that that's a controversial term, but that's the easiest way for me to describe. They are up and coming novice practitioners, and they are afraid of making the wrong move. They are afraid of connecting with an energy that they can't handle, that could be destructive. You can help them by understanding that there is nothing to fear but fear itself. That if they hang on to the fear, they are more vulnerable to those energies. You can be a guardian to them. You've got water guardian, connect with your emotions. Help them to understand that, honestly, it's balancing out their own emotions and having the emotional intelligence to listen to what their intuition is telling them, and to sort of like manage their reactivity to situations. It's going to help them stay protective. You also got autumn, release the old and rest. So again, crone energy, the elder, and obviously the crow being connected to magic on so many levels, the Morgan, Odin. You are at an advanced stage of your practice, and you can really assist. There was also the energy in pile 1 where a lot of these novice practitioners are just starting to understand like traditional techniques for divination, like water scrying, or even connecting with the energies of various magical beings that you can connect with through water, siren energies, fairy energies. Same with the druid energy here is making me think of elementals. You can help pass on so much knowledge that people aren't talking about, and they're going to sources like TikTok, and they're going to sources like, you know, here on YouTube, because they don't know where else to turn. They are at the mercy of the information that they can have access to. So you know that a lot of that information is inaccurate. So let's switch the narrative. Put yourself out there and start, you know, really educating people, because regardless, we're not going back in time. We're only going forward. Things are only going to get more and more and more connected to technology as we go forward, and we have to sort of be able to find that balance. So let me get some more cards about, I'm feeling like I need to go with this one. All right, what else can you tell me about pile number 2's inner witch? Okay, yes, I feel like what I'm saying to you is resonating, because I feel like, my guys, you got the freedom card, right? And she's inside the cage, and you got the willpower, and she's harnessing the power of the planet and the moon. there was a time when you were in the cage, that you had nobody to turn to, that you might have been in a family that was extremely traditional, possibly very religious, Catholic, possibly Christian. It could be any number of religions, but the Christians specifically really don't like witches, or at least haven't in the past, as we know. And you felt like you were in a cage. Some of you maybe a gilded cage. Your family might have been very loving and compassionate, but totally closed off to the whole idea of this kind of traditional spiritual practice. And you felt like you didn't have anyone to connect with or talk to, turn to, and get guidance. And that's why you really cherished every piece of information that you got. And I think you gathered your practice by experimentation, because you allowed your intuition to guide you and give you intuitive downloads. She's in the cage. She is holding the light in her hand. There is a dragonfly bringing a key to her, and then there is this dove flying by. Like, that to me is talking about, well, dragonflies being connected to our intuition and the other side and psychic abilities and connecting beyond the veil. You're definitely able to do that. Some of you might be able to have mediumship skills, something of that nature. There's animal empathy, and clairsentience, clairvoyance coming through. I think that you can actually connect with animals, and you probably, because I just got familiar, you probably have animals that are your own, but I also feel like you have animals that are around you. Some of you might actually live in areas that have more wilderness nature around you, and you see, like, say, a fox all the time, or a particular blue jay. You know, like, you have that kind of like Snow White in the woods calling the animals kind of vibe about you. And so you've been in this cage, and you can really, really help those people that are coming up. Because this is the energy that they were in pile number 1. And you can show them to have willpower, like you have. You've harnessed these powers. It's like you are moving the energy around. You are directing the planets. Like, you are that powerful diva. You have that under control. You have that. You're a goddess. You're the high priestess. Like, without a doubt, you're the high priestess. And I just think that there is, you know, a message there. You could be a real voice. I feel like that just sparked. I don't know if I just imagined that, but I feel like that just sparked. Okay, so I'm gonna get a couple final cards. I wanted to finish off with what deity would like to work with you, or in your case, possibly is already working with you. Okay, what deity would like to work with? Pile number 2, please. Okay, who do we have here? You got Hecate. The in-between, my witches. Ladies, I am so excited to meet you. And for all of the men out there, I am so excited to meet all of you. And you also got Aphrodite, romantic love. The power of manifestation comes from the heart chakra. It comes from the power of love. You, like I've said, you get this. You get that energy, that it's a balance between the two. That even, you don't even see there being such a thing as evil. You know? You get it. That there are horrible things that happen in this world that are designed for a particular outcome. And those outcomes can be positive and negative. But even the most horrible things, let's say COVID, for example, it's been terrible. People have died. It's awful. But at the same time, there have been people that have been liberated from their self-limiting beliefs and their old lifestyle, and possibly are expanding and growing into their spiritual gifts and their natural mysticism and magical powers as a result of COVID. So you get that. You are in partnership with the energies that are around you. Hecate being number 20, Aphrodite being number 2. And you've been doing this for lifetimes. You're an old soul. Like you, I think once you really started to discover who you were, it was like all the pieces fell into place, like super, super quick. And now it's time, if you're not already doing this, for you to be the teacher, to pass the torch on, you know, like there's just so much good you can do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. This one was amazing. I'm so excited to connect with you guys. If you haven't joined my little family here, please subscribe to the channel. I would love to know more about your journey. Comment below. Like, you're like kindred spirits for sure. And if you know someone else that might be interested in this reading, share it, or at least like it if it resonated. And I also do readings on my website, as well as other spiritual work, Reiki, so you can check out my other work on my website, odessamall.com. And I hope to see you guys in the next reading. Take care. Hi, pile number 3. Okay, so I've got your yellow jasper here and your cards. So these are going to give me an overview of what kind of magical witch you are. So let's see what you've got. You have the Son of Swords and Merge and Awaken. 3 rays of light, balancing male and female energies, peace and harmony. That is so cool. Okay, so there is a lot of energy coming forward for me. So first off, I think that you probably have mediumship skills. You are probably able to possibly even physical mediumship, where it's like you connect with energies that have crossed over people's past loved ones, but it could be any kind of energy. And you are able to literally merge with their energy, to hear their thoughts in your mind, or possibly when you're channeling, some channelers will get information and it's like that particular energy is embodied within their human form, and they don't even remember what they said during a channeling session. You might have that ability. You might also have the ability to really, truly balance out your energy. You might be energetic healers, because there's like this whole energy of balancing the male and female energies, which is all, to me, it makes me think of chakra balancing. Then with the Son of Swords, the owl on this card, an owl being a symbol of looking at things from a higher perspective, connecting with your higher self, getting messages from spirit, and the owl being a messenger for the gods. It's also connected with shamanic traditions. So I definitely am getting a channeling vibe, like magic. You might very well consider yourself like a psychic witch. And like the swords are all about communication, right? So that is fascinating. I am getting the energy too that for many of you, you might be interested in, like, you might consider yourself a green witch. The energy, and I just got goosebumps. So the energy here being like playing with different energies. That I also get the energy that like everything about nature just inspires you and fills you with joy. You know, you're not scared off by spiders or like bats, or you see the beauty in fungi. My guides are talking about like the natural vibrations that fungi emanate and how it's like a beautiful song. Some of you guys might have actually watched videos of that. There's like beautiful recordings of music made by mushrooms, basically. Yeah, you just see it all, the cycles of life, like death and rebirth, as really fascinating. You might really like collecting oddities as well. Like you might be interested in that kind of thing. You might be a collector of like bones and you know, like some people might think of that as dark, but I think of it as a true appreciation for all stages of life. We're energetic beings, we never die. It's just the physical form, and you get that. I am in like total agreement with you. Like I love this energy. All right, so let me get some more cards and find out a little bit more about you guys. All right, what else can you tell me about the inner witch? My guides keep showing me images of oddities, for sure. You might be really interested in magical traditions from all over the world as well, like, because I'm seeing a shrunken head in my mind, and I'm seeing mummies, like the sarcophagus. Like, yeah, there is something, the occult, that might definitely resonate for you. Aleister Crowley, you know, that kind of energy for sure, that you really, I think, like to explore it all. I don't necessarily think that you practice all of it, but I think that you like to know it all, you know, like it's wise to understand energies from all perspectives, which I totally agree with. Okay, so let's see. What else can you tell me about? Yeah. Oh my God. The synchronicities in this stuff. I do this all the time, but it's like it never gets old, like how the messages resonate with what I just direct channel. Okay. All right, so you're definitely connected with the chakras and energy, and you might very well be energy healers because you got Wheels of Light. This is literally the chakra card. That is so cool. I love it. And yeah, you guys are definitely physical mediums. You got blending with spirit. You got spirit communication process. You got be of service, and it's like the two hands blending into each other. And you got reaching out to spirit. So 100%. You are mediums. You're able to connect to the other side. I think that you can connect with energies that are not of the earthly realm, like ancestral energies, even energies that people would consider like alien to this world, you know, like star type energies. And I think that you get direct downloads. I think, you know, you might resonate with being a star seed as well. Light language. This feels like witchcraft, that at the same time it's old world where you're connecting with the earth, and super futuristic as well, because I think that you're open to it all. I think that like you are mainly operating in your upper chakras. And just sorry, one second. I like to make sure that I have a candle going at all times when I'm channeling. All right. Okay, we're good. So yeah, I really feel like you vibrate in your upper chakras a lot. I think that sometimes you can feel like you're not of this world. I definitely feel that. I think that you have a remembering of past lives, and you might connect with energies or have experiences or feel like you have had lives that were not on earth. You also have partially the reason why you don't feel like you are of this world is that you literally are so connected to energy. That's partially why you're really connected to this old world way of crafting magic, spells, shamanism might resonate for you, and connecting with nature, because you can literally like feel the energy vibrating from a plant. You can feel, it's like you can feel the whole universe talking to you. That's what it feels like. You're out in the woods and you can feel the energy of the trees. You can feel if they're positive or negative. You might actually have jobs or careers where you are working in a greenhouse, or you are, I'm even getting chef, like you're working with food, you energetically sort of can understand how things, alchemy, you can understand how things go together, and it's so intuitive for you, and you like experimenting. But you might also be an arborist, or be a landscaper, or something to that effect. It's just, and Reiki, like I was saying before, healing is definitely strongly coming forward. Again, with the 3 rays of light, my guides are like, remember the title right there, rays of light? Yeah, you guys can feel the energy and the vibrations of everything all around you. I think at some point it was sort of overwhelming to you. I think many of you have had Kundalini awakenings, and it was like, or you might even have clairaudience, like I was saying, and it was so intense because I'm feeling like I'm having a strong pressure in my ears, like when your clairaudience was kind of opening up to you and fine-tuning. It was like you had pressure headaches, or you heard high-pitched ringing in your ears, and everyone's like, oh, it's tinnitus. And it's like, it's not tinnitus. It's a spiritual gift. But you had sensory overload, and you've practiced and sort of cultivated this like very fine-tuned sensitivity to your gifts. You have the ability of psychometry, where you're able to touch objects. You go evidence of spirit. You're able to touch objects and read the energy in them, like you're reading Braille. But I think it's even more than that. It's like going back to the shamanic tradition, where you can, you connect with the fact that everything has its own sort of soul energy. Everything, whether it's a plant, something we traditionally think of as being alive, or if it is a crystal or a rock or even a man-made object, it has a story. It has sort of a soul energy to it. And you can pick up on that. You can feel that. And I also get the energy where some of you might be very solitary practitioners, but you would see it as, I'm never alone. Like, your friends are all around you, because you can feel their energy all around you, whether it's spirit energy, whether you're connecting with plant energy, or just like the positive vibrations of your own home, the vibrations that are just emanating towards you, which is so beautiful. I love that. Okay, so let me get some more cards. Okay, no. All right, what else can you tell me about pile number 3's inner witch? What's pile number 3's inner witch? Okay. Oh my God. Shaman. Trust in higher forces. And there's the owl again, just like I was saying. Like, I definitely feel like you connect with spiritual traditions that might potentially be like unrelated to your life this go around. You know, this might be you connecting with your Akashic records, the spirit energies that are around you. Some of your spirit guides might be connected to indigenous communities. They're giving you knowledge, they're giving you guidance. You are taking that knowledge and you are using that to create this very experimental, unique craft of your own. You definitely are psychic. Absolutely. You got the Oracle card. Wait for important information. You utilize your own intuitive nature to guide you. And you got Winter. Take care of your needs. I think that you are a person that really understands, like I've said, you're so in tune with energy that you really were forced into understanding that you needed to have strong boundaries. You needed to be able to do a lot of self-care, because I think that you would be definitely classified as an empath. You are absorbing, or at least you were absorbing, a lot of energy into your own system earlier on in your journey, and you had to learn how to process that energy, put up protective barriers around you energetically, learn how to do that self-care, take breaks. You understood over time the rhythm of the universe, and that you can have a more fulfilling life if you match your ebb and flow cycles to the natural ebb and flow cycles of the earth. And I think that you had to learn that practice on your own, like I was saying with that solitary witchcraft, because there's a wolf, lone wolf energy on here, and Winter, it being the ebb. I don't think that you shy away from going within, you know, that hermit mode type energy is definitely coming forward. Amazing. Okay, let's get some more cards here. All right, what else can you tell me about pile number 3's inner witch? All right. Okay. So energy, your energy healers, or you're connected to energy like we have talked about. That's beautiful. You are, I think that, like I was getting that energy before about some of you possibly being chefs or connected with like doing spellcraft that has to do with potion making, brews of some kind. Like I think that you really lean into that, especially with like the green witchery that I was talking about, and like this oracle with her, she is breathing in vapors. Like this is a depiction of like the Oracle of Delphi, but it's still giving me that same cauldron sort of vibe as this energy card. You have had to learn how to balance your own energy, do self-care, and I think you are super in tune with what brings you happiness and joy by listening to your intuition. I'm getting that because there is the sun here, and then the alchemical symbol for water. You also, that feels like the balancing those energies. Again, the sun being connected to the divine masculine, the water being connected to the divine feminine, like the Awaken rays of light was talking about. And then you got communication. So you, like, going back again to you being a medium, you being able to communicate with spirit energies. And I think that you get a lot of information. I think initially you were getting information earlier on in your journey and you didn't necessarily know how you were getting it. you didn't really tap into it until you started to dive into connecting with the earth's energies. I think when you were vibrating high, because I do get this star seed energy from you, when you were vibrating higher exclusively in your third eye and crown chakra, it was making you feel imbalanced, right? And this has the alchemical symbol for earth on it. And I think that when you learn to ground your energy and do the self-care, and you might have done that through a number of different means. You might have been journaling, writing a gratitude journal, or manifestations, because this communication card with the P's on it is making me think of miracles, abundance, manifestations. Then there's an ink pot with a quill, which makes me think of journaling. Could be automatic writing, so you could have been using that as a divination tool to get messages from your guides. But I definitely have a feeling that it has something also to do with gratitude and a manifestation journal of some kind. And I'm also getting that energy from this memory card. So like I was saying before, you have the ability to pick up on stories with objects, right? The psychometry that I was talking about. And so that's connected to the memory. And then there's the divine masculine present here again with the sun. But this book, now maybe you have a book of shadows that you keep. And I definitely, and you might just call it your recipe book. You know, like that's the energy I'm getting. I think you are comfortable around fire. You might like to do pyromancy, where you connect with, you get spirit communication through fire. Like you might just zone out looking into a campfire, or you might be actually cooking like over fire. You know, you might have like a gas stove or something, and you're connecting, getting channeled messages. You just zone out while you're cooking, and it's like all these amazing ideas come through to you. And yeah, this could also be talking about that gratitude journal that I was picking up on. And you are really focused on finding joy in everything that you do in life. You got the happiness card. Again, it's a fire sign card. Then this potion, again, like you like potions. You definitely do a lot of spellcraft is what I'm getting. I think you like also the practice of it, like just creating this spell and going through each step of that ritual, I think gives a lot to you. And you like pacing yourself out. I got the energy that for many of you, you like crafting spells that take long periods of time to create, you know, like having something really, you know, sit and ferment and stew for a really long period of time for the magic to really start to like sort of be activated. And I think that's amazing. And again, there's this like potion bottle here, and there's an angel coming out of it. Amazing. And then the alchemical symbol for water. So divine feminine. Yeah, it's like 2 fire, 2 water, and earth. You were able to balance out your divine masculine and your divine feminine by grounding your energy into the earth. That is incredible. Fertility, you just allow yourself to be creative. You don't hold yourself back at all from that. And when you finally got to a point where you could do that, you connected with your divine purpose, because this is card number 29. Those 2 numbers together reduce down to 11, master number 11, talking about the balance of all things, then reducing that further down to 1, you being in alignment with your divine purpose. The watermelon is not only a symbol of fertility and sensuality, but it's also connected to abundance. That I think that you might actually have, like I was saying, a job that allows you to do some of this magical work, like you are a chef, or you have you're like possibly like holistic nutritionist, or you that's something about creating something. Maybe you do aromatherapy, maybe you do sound healing, maybe you're a naturopath, maybe you could be also, I'm getting the energy of dance as well. Like you might be very physical and have like, a lot of times you can channel messages from spirit by getting in tune with our body and through the action of dance. So, you know, you could be interested in fitness, and that is partially how you grounded your energy. So it could be athleticism, it could be fitness instructor, it could be any of those things as well. Now I'm also getting animals. So there's a lot of you that will watch this. So you'll all have a different way you embody this in your life, but you could be a veterinarian assistant, you could be a dog walker, you could be working at a shelter of some kind. Yeah, it could be, you could be even like an adoptive parent to like a dog or a cat of some kind. That's coming forward as well. I'm definitely getting nature vibes though. So if you don't currently live in an area that has a lot of nature around you, I think that you spend a great deal of effort to connect back to nature. And when you get opportunities to get back to nature, like rent a cottage or go to a nature reserve, or, you know, just go on a walk in the park, you take advantage of that. I think that's really, really, really important to you. Okay, what else do we want to get into here? Let's see. No. All right, what else? Can you tell me about pile number 3's inner witch? Okay, so you, oh my God. So you got animals. So like I was saying with the, you might be connected to working with animals, or you have a lot of animals. You might be a person that like, you just end up with a lot of animals. Like you're just a safe haven for them. People bring stray animals to you. Your kids bring them home and you just cannot say no. Or you are able to, like you can connect with spirit energies of people, you're able to connect with spirit energies of animals. And, you know, like I was saying with, it's like kind of the energy of Snow White, you know, it's that like animals are just around you and they feel comfortable around you and they're just sort of drawn to you, or you pick up on synchronicities through animals. But I definitely feel like you can read them, you know, like telepathically, you know how they're feeling or what they're thinking. And if some of you have always wanted to be more involved in animals, like volunteering at an animal shelter or a reserve, or, you know, starting your own little reserve or shelter. And there's lots of different ways you can do that. Like I just watched a video on YouTube about this girl who rescues fish that are dying from pet stores because they just aren't being adequately taken care of. And she never ever thought that she would be running this little like fish rescue, but you know, now she has this YouTube channel and she's doing an amazing thing. Like there's lots of different ways that you could do that. And then you also got the family cards. So this is you either like, I think it's twofold. I think it's talking about you getting spirit communications and you being a medium, and possibly you pass on messages to people from their past loved ones, their family members. But I also think that you are all about work-life balance, and that your family and your pets are your number one priorities. Like you know what fills you up, and you're not seeking fame and riches and like all of that superficial stuff. I think that you are so happy just like having what you need to be comfortable, having what you need or a little bit more than what you need to be comfortable, everyone being happy and healthy, and just spending a ton of time with the people that you love, whether this is your biological family or whether this is your chosen family. They're just really important. You're all about community. And I'm being guided back to say that that also comes from this past life heritage energy, you know, like the shaman, this communal living. Like, I think that you feel more comfortable in that kind of energy or in that kind of like dynamic. You might have been sort of guided to different kind of like community organizations as well. Like, you might have at some point been interested in joining a church and then found that that didn't work out for you, or you might still actively be involved in a church. You know, there's no reason why you can't have both in your life. But there's definitely some sort of community energy coming here, and that could be that you just like are really tight with all the people that live in your neighborhood, and you guys all get together in the summer and you have barbecues together and the kids hang out, and like, you know, you are really interested in, you know, planting a beautiful garden, and the other people that you're friends with in your neighborhood are also interested in beautifying the neighborhood, and you like, you know, either go out and pick trash together, or you like, you know, trade information and ideas about how to like grow plants and build a more beautiful garden. You know, that's the energy I'm getting. So to finish off the reading, I am going to look into what deities would like to be working with you. These could be deities that are already working with you. So let's see, who wants to work with pile number 3? Who wants to work with pile number 3? Okay. Oh, I love it. Okay, so this makes so much sense. So first of all, you got Gaia, the earth. You are already working with the element of the earth. You are already completely in tune with Gaia. And then you got Mama Oka, water. So, and like I was getting that before as well with this energy of the divine feminine. You are very, very connected to feminine energies. You are very connected to the primordial energies of the earth. You know, in the beginning, even in Genesis, it says, in the beginning, there was darkness and water. You know, it's like being in the womb. You get that. You're connected to that. And you also got Métis, wisdom. And it's so interesting because Métis came out in pile number 2. So if you were guided, you were interested in listening to pile number 2, this would be a confirmation to go back and listen to that as well. The goddess of wisdom. You are constantly seeking wisdom. Like I was saying before, I think that you're interested in a lot of different magical practices, and you are constantly seeking new knowledge, and you sort of figure out what works for you. You don't necessarily dive into all forms of magic and the occult or the spiritual, but you're open to learning about all of it, you know, because you know that you like to experiment, you know, you craft your spirituality and your practices the same way you craft a wonderful recipe. And I think that's beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. This one was so fun. I'm going to be doing a lot more readings like this. If this is the first time you're watching me, please join our family. Subscribe to the channel, like the video if it resonated. If you know someone else that might enjoy this reading, please share it with them. And if anyone's interested in working with me one-on-one, you can go to my website, odessamall.com, and check out my services there. I am really looking forward to seeing you guys in the next reading. I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.